Q1051 Rocks, Fish in with you this evening, and I have Cody from Wage War on the phone right now. Cody, how's it going, my man?
It's going great, man.
Now, Cody, you guys are back out on tour. You kicked things off in Las Vegas. You're out with Beartooth, and now you're going to be hitting up the Fargo Brewing Company with Rock the Rails. And, man, it was like 500 days between shows. What has the last year been like for you?
It's absolutely insane, man. It's just been a very unprecedented year, and, we're thankful to be able to be back, and even just rehearsing for, these shows was crazy. Like getting back in the room and, replugging in all the amps and just remembering what it feels like to like do the collective and make music was just insane. So we're very, very excited and certainly long overdue.
So, Cody, that kind of leads me into my next question here. What has the last year been like for Wage War and you personally, just dealing with the pandemic that we've had, not being able to go out there and play live shows? What has it been like for you?
It's been a struggle. This is something that, all five of us have worked for the past, 10 years or so of our lives. And to get to a point where, everything that basically like putting all your chips in one spot, going all in on something and then not going away for a year, really presented some challenges, like financially and, and just even purpose-wise and mentally. So it's been a weird year. We tried to use it to the best of our ability and work on new music and, better ourselves how we can. I mean, a couple of my guys got married. So there were definitely a lot of victories last year as well. Off time isn't a bad thing, but when you can't go back to your job, that's when it gets really unfortunate. But we tried to make the most of it for sure.
Yeah. That's what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. I think no one saw this coming, and that was really, you either got to make the best of it or, it doesn't work. That being said, you brought up new music, and that's the one thing that I think the next couple of years here, we're going to see kind of a renaissance with bands and stuff putting out new music and stuff. You guys have a brand new single that you just dropped a few days ago, High Horse. Tell us a little bit about the last year of writing music and just were you guys working on new music this whole time, just trying to keep up with things with your time off?
Yeah. I think, writing music is something that we obviously all love to do, but I think we came out of a place of necessity, especially last year. And High Horse is kind of that first glance at what we've been working on. And, it's a really real pissed off, angry song. And, it felt good to get some of that aggression out. And can't say too much about, what else is to come, but we've really buckled down this past year and took a lot of time for self-reflection and even like musical reflection on who we want to be as a band. And I think that that's a good taste of what's to come.
Yeah, man, like I said, feel like a renaissance is coming between new music from you guys and other bands out there. I think the next couple of years is going to be fantastic for new music from bands. Hey, I want to talk about your tour. You guys are going to be hitting up the Fargo Brewing Company for Rock the Rails. We'll talk about that with Cody here in just a few minutes on Q1051 Rocks.
Q1051 Rocks.
Q1051 Rocks. Fish in with you this evening with Cody from Wage War on the phone. Cody, you were telling me how it was like 500 days between shows during the pandemic that you had played. And I want to know, what does this tour mean to you?
I think one of the biggest things, and it's something that we've all talked about a lot as a band, is never taking what we get to do for granted. Like you get to a point where, like as a 14-year-old kid, like 10 years ago, like if you were to tell me that we, we're in LA, making music videos or making records or just being on tour in general, like I would have absolutely lost my mind. And like somewhere along the way, like it gets really easy to lose sight of that. And I think this last year has kind of humbled all of us back down to a childlike state where it's just like we have the honor and the privilege to do this. And I don't think it's something that we'll ever take for granted again. And I think upon COVID happening, I think we were all at a pretty decent burnout stage. We had just done, a month and a half in the U.S. We had like a month off, and then we went straight into a European headliner, had like a week off, and then went right over to Australia. And so I think we were really at a point of, of maybe not seeing everything for what it was. So I think there's definitely a perspective shift that has happened over the past year. And this tour is something that feels like it feels like I feel like a kid again, essentially. So we're just excited to get out there and give it our all. And we put a lot of, thought and time into the set and creating a great live show. And then, obviously Beartooth, amazing band, a band that we love and are good friends with. So it's just going to feel good to have that purpose again.
Yeah, man, I cannot imagine being an artist and having that stripped away from you. We're going to continue on chatting with Cody here in just a few minutes. We're going to talk a little bit more about touring, of course, touring with Beartooth and rock and roll, man. Can't go wrong with that. And of course, we're going to talk about that show, Beartooth, Waged War, Dragged Under, Rock the Rails, happening coming up August 26th at Fargo Brewing Company. Stick around here on Q1051 Rocks.
Q1051 Rocks.
Q1051 Rocks, chatting with Cody from Wage War. And of course, they're going to be in town August 26th with Beartooth and Dragged Under and many, many more great bands for Rock the Rails going down at the Fargo Brewing Company. And Cody, is this the first time that you guys have been on tour with Beartooth before?
This is our first time ever on an actual tour with Beartooth. We've done 2 or 3 festivals together, I believe. But this will be our first time, and it's something that we've talked about for a while, and to see it come to fruition is something that's definitely very exciting for us.
Yeah, man, the last time Beartooth was here in Fargo, show sold out very quickly. Now, you guys, like you had mentioned before, have been on a ton of different tours before. You've been on Europe tours. You toured here in America. You guys have been on the Warp Tour before. Tell us a little bit about how this tour is going to be different. How have things changed with touring in general in this, this new environment that we're in compared to tours that you've been on in the past?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in kind of a new normal and a new reality, and and how guidelines for cities are going to work. And, honestly, like, even for us, like, there's a lot of question marks up in the air on how everything's going to happen. And, we're all just doing the best we can to abide by the rules and make sure that we create a safe environment for everybody, and do our part in making sure that shows can still stay happening, but also in a safe manner. So definitely a lot of question marks for us and stuff that we're kind of like waiting to see. But, I think, there's already a lot of successful shows happening, and Lollapalooza happened like last weekend, like sold out, and everything seemed to be going just fine. So yeah, I mean safety first as always, but we're going to do everything in our power to make a good experience for everybody.
Now you brought up Lollapalooza. Are you going to come dressed like Fred Durst was at Lollapalooza? Yeah. I think it'd be a good look, right?
It really would. I saw a meme about you're a Limp Bizkit fan when you're talking more about the way Fred Durst is dressed in West Portland.
Isn't it insane that this is the most relevant Limp Bizkit has been in decades? You know what I mean? They are becoming a pop band just because of the look.
And they're doing it right, man. You can't bring down the king.
Yeah, man, you can't. Hey, we're going to continue chatting with Cody here throughout this hour. Lots more to talk about, including things like what is the craziest thing he's seen from stage and what to expect from a Wage War show. Remember that concert going down August 26th at the Fargo Brewing Company. It is Rock the Rails. Get the details, Q1051rocks.com.
Q1051 Rocks.
Q1051 Rocks. Fish still chatting with Cody from Wage War. Those guys going to be at the Fargo Brewing Company coming up Thursday, August 26th with headliner Beartooth, Dragged Under, and many more awesome bands. If you want to check out the show, get the details, Q1051rocks.com. Now, Cody, man, what can people expect from a Wage War show if they haven't seen you before?
I would like to think of us as a live band. Our show is specifically built for people to just have fun. If you want to get wild and mosh, you can. If you want to jump up and down, if you want to put your hands in the air, if you want to put your phone lights up, or if you just want to be in the back and simply observe, we try to cater to all of those needs and just have a fun, energetic show and something that people can walk away from and feel like they had an experience and not just listen to music for, however long. I think we built a set that has all of those things, a lot of dynamics, and yeah, we're excited. We got some new songs that are in there, and some oldies and some vibers and some slappers. So just a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're looking forward to it. Like I said, Thursday, August 26th, Rock the Rails at Fargo Brewing Company, Beartooth, Wage War, Dragged Under. A ton of local bands going to be on this, too. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, guys. Get your tickets. Q1051rocks.com is the place to do that. That being said, now we're going to dive into a couple fun questions, Cody. The first thing is I always ask everyone this when I interview them. What is the weirdest thing that you've seen from stage? I know it's been over 500 days since you guys have had a show, but what is the weirdest thing that you've ever seen from the stage? Because you get a little bit different view up there.
Yeah. The weirdest thing, I've seen Spider-Man suits, Power Ranger suits, people dressed like Jesus. I mean,
Jesus is always good. That's always at a festival. There's always one guy dressed as Jesus. There always is.
There's always a Jesus out there. Yeah.
Okay, one more question for you, Cody. Here, if you could be any animal, since you're on a tour with Beartooth, you've got a band named after an animal. What would be the one animal that you could be if you could be any animal?
Dude, that's hard. Probably like a shark or something.
Good choice.
Very white. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Good choice.
No, I changed my mind. I'm from Florida. I want to be a gator. I want to be an alligator.
Oh, yeah, you got to be a gator. If you're from Florida, yeah, you got to be a gator. Come on.
Yeah.
That being said, man, we're looking forward to it. Have you been to Fargo before? Is this your first time being to Fargo, or have you been here before?
I am 95% sure we've never been there before.
I was going to say, in the time that I've been in radio, I don't think you guys have been here before. We're looking forward to it, man. You came at the perfect time of year. It's not winter. We'll look forward to seeing you Thursday, August 26th, Fargo Brewing Company. It's going to be a great time. Rock the Rails, Beartooth, Wage War Dragged Under. Cody, it was nice having you on the show today.
Thanks, Fish. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks, Cody. Of course, get the details on that show, Q1051rocks.com. Rock the Rails, August 26th at Fargo Brewing Company with Q1051.